What's going on, everybody? It's the Hurry Up Offense, episode 3. We've made it to week 3 of the NFL season. It's TJ Wingert here with you, joined as always by JT Creed. JT, I know Monday night put a sour taste in your mouth, but how you been, man?
Yeah, not rocking the Vikings purple today. It's a sad day. Definitely a blue day, cold blue day. Just got embarrassed on Monday night, man. It was rough. It was a fun week of football, but just ended terribly for me.
Meanwhile, we also have Mason Cannon, the man whose team, the fan of his favorite team, is the only one who came away with a win this week. So, Mason, you're sitting the best of anybody here. And also, you had the best week of us in the Picks League. So, I know you're feeling good. How's it going, man?
I'm doing all right, man. Long day at work. But yes, all is true. However, through my DraftKings Sportsbook, it was not looking good at all. But now we're back here, week 3, ready to get moving.
Awesome. Well, if you're new to this series, we're going to talk about 5 games today. That's Thursday night, 1 o'clock, 1 4 o'clock game, Sunday night, and then Monday Night Football. 5 minutes each, trying to make it quick as can be, thus the Hurry Up Offense title. But if you're new to the series, be sure to hit that like button. And if you're new around here, want to see more football content, just hit that big red subscribe button. We're right on the door of 1,100 subscribers, so help us hit that milestone. And give us your picks and locks of the week down below in the comments section. This is a conversation. I respond to every comment. So if you hear something today and you're like, hey, that sounded stupid, let me tell them why they're wrong. I'm all here for it, and I'll respond to your comment. We'll make this a conversation down below in the comments section. We'll start with some rhythm throws, get into rhythm, for the phrase. But we'll kind of talk about the big injury later on, because we'll talk about the 49ers in this episode. But kind of wanted to jump on a trend here and play Guess That Team. So it's up on your screen now. We'll kind of let the audience kind of matriculate and put in some guesses. They can pause the screen as well. But I'll open it up to you. I sent y'all this yesterday. You've had some time to look at it, but what team is this?
Yeah, man, this was kind of a tough one. Like you were talking about, if you're building a team, it's kind of the quarterback can give it away a lot of times. But to me, there's a lot of C quarterbacks in the league anyway, so this one wasn't too easy. And then the offensive line being an A was kind of another curveball. But I think I got it. Mason, what are you thinking when you first saw it?
Yeah, definitely the offensive line at an A was throwing me a bit. Also the wide receivers. I'm not sure how to do this either, but I think I've got a close guess.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm right, but I've got what my guess is going to be, at least.
Well, let me hear it. What do we got?
So I'm going to go Lions. So I think they got a great O-line. I think Goff as a C makes sense. I don't think he's necessarily that bad. Maybe C+, but I mean, it's within the range. Same thing with Swift. I kind of like him as a little bit better than a B, but also, again, within the range. But the receiving core being a B+, C+, makes sense there. The O-line kind of makes sense. The defense being a C makes sense. Head coach, I like that because like a B- is kind of where Dan Campbell's at, right? So like everybody believes in him, but like you got to put W's up on the board, so
right.
accounts for that. So
you got 4 wins so far. So
yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking.
All right, Mason. You think?
No, JT said it. I also had the Lions. My other guess was going to be the Jags.
Ooh, okay.
If I didn't go Lions, just with the C being Trevor Lawrence. But then the tight end threw me, so I wasn't too sure about the B- there.
The Jags aren't a bad call out either, because I was trying to think about like what's a timely team that could fit into this, but we're not talking about them today. And the Jags just blanked Indianapolis. So good time this is as good as Jags fans have felt on a Thursday in a while. So it's actually the Lions. You guys were both right. It is Detroit. So maybe I would honestly probably tweak it again, looking at it like maybe C- for Goff and then maybe B+ for Swift. But like you said, JT, kind of had it in the ballpark there, but I didn't want to pick too good of a team. But, dude, 3 straight games dropping 30-plus points on opponents. Joe Johnson's offense is rolling. Dan Campbell's got it clicking, and they're doing all this with Jared Goff. So they're kind of a hot team and a buzz team in a lot of ways for NFL fans right now. But, again, I'm joining in on a trend, and we're talking about an exciting team doing an exciting trend. So there you go. There's your guess your team. Maybe we'll do this every week. That was kind of fun. So, anyways, let's go ahead and jump into game number 1. I'm getting the stopwatch rolling now. Thursday Night Football, my Pittsburgh Steelers at the Cleveland Browns. Browns favored by 4.5 points. Over under at 38. So I'll kind of start here, and then I'll throw it over to Mason to start. But, dude, over under at 38 and a 4.5 point spread. if you're guessing that low of a total, the spread realistically is not going to be this wide. That, or it's going to be nothing, essentially. So I don't think there's that much separating these two teams. Trubisky has not been good. Brissett's banged up a little bit. Because of that, there's not a huge QB advantage for either side. And honestly, I'm kind of leaning Pittsburgh winning outright, which, I have to be careful saying that because I watched Myles Garrett take Dan Moore's lunch money last year, and that's totally plausible to have again this year. But I do also want to note Pittsburgh's run defense has been better than I thought it would be. Terrell Edmonds in specific, been pretty solid against the run per Pro Football Focus grade. So if that carries them into this matchup with obviously Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, that offensive line, Pittsburgh bodes well. But this could also be a game where the Browns run for 200, 250 yards, get in the end zone multiple times with those backs, and just take it to Pittsburgh and maybe it is a shellacking. But I'm taking Pittsburgh plus 4.5 points. And like I said, I think I might take them outright to win. Mason, where do you stand on this one?
No, I definitely agree. You guys' defense against the run has been improving. Last week I saw a little bit of it. You guys are making Mac throw a lot. So yeah, I'm kind of on you here with the Steelers getting points here. I also think you guys went outright as well. I just don't know too much about either team at this point, so I don't got much to say. But I think I do lean Steelers here.
Sure. And JT, what do you think?
Yeah, no, kind of on the same line as you guys. To me, it's two teams with limited upside, at least kind of what we know about them, just due to the quarterback position at this point. I'm kind of, interested to see if Mitch Trubisky can start to form some kind of chemistry with his wide receiving core. He's got weapons. Now, to me, they're all kind of like twos on like a great team or like a really good offense. They're all twos, but man, it's not like he's not rolling out with like undrafted free agents all over the place. He's got to start making some plays, right. Sling the rock a little bit. So interested to see if he can pick it up, but kind of what you're saying, right? A low total and a high spread with two teams that I consider to be relatively close and, like I said, limited upside. I really like the play from a betting angle at the Steelers to, have the points at 4.5 points. I really like the Steelers for sure. And as you kind of talked about, Brissett was quoted after the game on an ankle injury. He said, he'd be ready to go, but, it's the Thursday night football game coming off a short week. It's never ideal to have any kind of, dings enough to where the media is going to be asking you about it. So, something to watch as well. But yeah, so like I said, it's just kind of like you guys were saying, not a big spread between the teams, but a big spread on the actual spread. So it's like, I just feel like it's kind of a no-brainer to go with the Steelers here.
Yeah, rule of thumb of mine when it comes to betting is if it's a 50-50 game in my eyes, I'll take the team getting points just because I'm expanding my range of outcomes of sorts. They can either lose and cover or win outright. So I definitely think that's kind of the play here for Pittsburgh. I think the other thing that's interesting here, and this kind of ties into what you're talking about, JT, with the Browns secondary and that collapse. I mean, that busted coverage that gives up the touchdown to Corey Davis. I'm sorry if that cost you in your fantasy league. Corey Davis's ownage percentage isn't that high, but probably didn't affect too many people. But if that cost you a game and a matchup, I am so sorry. But that busted coverage, and we saw some of that at the beginning of last year in Cleveland, but there were so many new pieces in that secondary, and I kind of thought we wouldn't see that this year. But if that is, still going to be the case, do we see that on Thursday Night Football, or have they been able to make those fixes and adjustments, especially against this wide receiver room? And, sometimes when an offense is kind of rough, you just kind of need that layup, right? You just got to see the ball go through the net. And if it's a busted coverage walking touchdown for George Pickens, Chase Claypool, down to whoever it is, that might be what Pittsburgh needs to get some offense. So it'll be interesting to see how the Browns kind of recover, from that, such a pivotal moment in that game, allowing the Jets to come back. And then the last thing I wanted to note here, part of the reason I like Pittsburgh is Mike Tomlin. I mean, like that collapse last week, like I love Kevin Stefanski and like what he's done schematically with the offense. And he got a lot out of Baker Mayfield for a year. And hopefully we'll get to see what that looks like with Deshaun Watson, despite maybe who he is as a person. I'm excited to see that offense, what it could be. But last week, meltdown is kind of what you get when you don't have a Mike Tomlin or, John Harbaugh or one of these types of coaches. And on the other side, there's a guy who's never had a sub 500 season in his head coaching tenure. So again, 4.5 points for the better coach. We don't have a better quarterback advantage necessarily in this game, but I'll take the points with the better coach here on Thursday Night Football. But it'll be interesting to see how Michaels and Herb Street kind of handle this one. Did you guys watch Thursday Night Football in that presentation last week? It was the first time getting to see it on Prime.
Yeah, it was different. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, nothing really stood out as like great or too bad. It was good. I mean,
okay.
But yeah, no, I know what you mean. It's going to be an interesting matchup where they're going to have to carry a lot because it's going to be a lot of punts, I think.
Lots of punts and a lot of running the ball. So
yeah, it's going to be an interesting broadcast for sure.
Yeah, Mason, did you get to catch Thursday Night Football last week?
I didn't see the presentation.
Oh, okay. Well, dude, to me, the graphics, all that stuff was so crisp. As somebody who, is a play-by-play guy, obviously Al Michaels, somebody I look up to, Kirk Herbstreit. That's also a money duo. But, dude, like the graphics, the presentation, the first down marker, I thought it was all out of this world. But they also have a second channel where you get the all-22 footage. So you're looking over the top. And you keep the broadcast audio. So that's what I plan on watching this week just because I like that aerial view a little bit more. But, yeah, I'm pumped up. JT, were you about to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say, did you notice any I noticed, at least on mine, and then I think my dad also kind of texted me about it. There was a little bit of like lag in like just motion. So like balls, like deep balls thrown in the air, people run at full speed. Like there's a little bit of choppiness. I hope that I don't know if they're like I said, it might have just been me, but with my dad also complaining, I was like, okay, maybe that's something they could clean up. But it's also the first week that they have this full on like broadcast, so they might be able to clean it up.
And also streaming site versus your local CBS, NBC, ABC affiliate. Even though I know you can get that streamed on whatever app or Red Zone or whatever, maybe that plays a part in it as well. But anyways, yeah, Thursday Night Football I thought was a pretty cool presentation. Excited to see their second week at it. But let's move on to game number 2. And, after what we saw from Miami this past week, this game became a whole hell of a lot more interesting. I actually changed games. I originally had Colts, Chiefs in here, but Indianapolis's performance and then Miami's performance made me want to change my mind here. So, JT, I'll kind of start with you. We've already talked about the Bills, and we got to see the Bills on Monday night. Wow, that team's insane. But the Dolphins looked impressive against Baltimore. Mike McDaniel has 2 wins against Bill Belichick and John Harbaugh. That's cool. Can he snag one against Sean McDermott? Another one of the best head coaches in the league, in my opinion.
Yeah, man. The Bills right now are must-watch TV, so goodbye you switching off of the Colts. The Colts game, nobody wants to watch the Colts right now. So yeah, Bills, Dolphins, definitely a spicy matchup. I'm still leaning, Bills here. Leaning Bills. I still think Tua's just not it. The comeback kind of made for great TV, but we also kind of have to remember that one-offs happen. Mitch Trubisky threw for 6 touchdowns in a game once, so let's keep that in mind. Slow the roll on Tua. If you watch the film, kind of see it back. He still kind of got bailed out on some definite underthrows, which underthrows are picks in this league. It wasn't on Sunday, but definitely could be this coming up Sunday. I'm just not a big fan of Tua still. But that being said, I mean, Tyreek Hill and Waddle are just like insane.
They're legit, dude. They're insane.
Yeah, I just don't know. Like, it's tough right now. I'm in a tough spot on the Dolphins because I don't know if they can consistently bail out Tua. But I know that they're going to be able to do this at least a few times in the year, right? He's going to have like a mediocre game that's going to just, his numbers are going to be inflated like crazy because he just has 2 absolute, he's got a Ferrari on one side and a Lamborghini on the other, and they're going to carry him. So I just don't know if it's something that's going to happen on a consistent basis. I do know that Josh Allen is going to be a dog on a consistent basis. So if I was going to bet it, I'd go Bills -5.5.
And look, Waddle and Hill were great, but so is Stephon Diggs, dude. There's only one of him, but dude, he was awesome on Monday Night Football. So, Mason, before I kick it to you, a couple of things I wanted to hit on here. So obviously it's quarterback wide receiver matchups we watch. But like we were talking about, Waddle and Hill are going to win eventually, right? So I think this game really comes down to Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde. Can they limit those big plays? Can they make those, PBUs, break up those deep balls to Tyreek Hill? Can they make a tackle on Jalen Waddle in the open field? Not a lot of teams have been able to do that so far in his career. So are they the safety tandem? It's one of the best in the league. Can they make those plays? Because if so, then I really like Buffalo. And then with that being said, if this is a shootout, is Tua going toe for toe with, 1v1 against Josh Allen?
Bro, that's the thing though, but that's the thing, like he did last week. That's what's wild. Like
with Lamar. And that's
what I'm saying, like with Lamar. So it's like, I don't know. It's a tough play.
Well, that being said, it was really the Ravens getting out to a big lead, and then the offense disappeared. Give credit to, Miami's defense in the fourth quarter stepped up. That allowed the comeback. If this game becomes like Kansas City Buffalo last year in the playoffs where it's touchdown.
You're talking like shot for shot.
Drive for drive. Is Tua really going toe-to-toe with Allen? Probably not. Which, again, all brings me back. I think I'm going to go Bills -5.5. I think this is just going to be one of those plays where I know some people always bet Mahomes over touchdown, and if you do that every week, you just come out on top. You come out positive. Maybe betting the Bills spread is just like my version of that. I'll just keep rolling with it until I have reason to think otherwise. So, Mason, with all that said, let me hear what you're thinking of this game. Doesn't even have to be from a betting perspective, but matchups, X's and O's. What do you like in this game? Do you think there's an edge for either side?
No, you guys touched on a bunch of points there. Bills are most watched TV. Dolphins are most watched TV after last week. So this will be a good game. I do like the Bills easy here. I think they win pretty easily, but we would have said that last week if the Dolphins were playing against the Bills. So I don't know. Tua can be interesting. I still don't think he's good. But again, he does have the best 1-2 punch at the wide receiver position in the league, in my opinion. So yeah, anything can happen. I think the Bills win though. That's just me though.
I like how you brought up TJ. I like how you brought up Poyer and Hyde kind of being a key. I think they match up really well in that aspect. Those are two guys that fly around the field. They don't really, miss a lot of angles as far as attacking receivers after the catch, that kind of thing. And the Bills have just looked like just solid across the board on defense as well. Holding the Rams down in week 1, obviously didn't get, Tennessee couldn't get anything going in week 2. So, the Bills just look really solid right now. They are due for a letdown game, though. If you're going to bet it, be wary. You just never know. It kind of feels like a trap spot. But also, we haven't seen a flaw from them, so it's tough.
I think another matchup and thing I'm watching is worth calling out here. The Bills' defensive line has taken this step forward. Like these young guys, Boogie Basham year 2, Greg Rousseau in year 2, both guys I liked, but were projects. They look legit. Von Miller hasn't lost a step. And that pass rush against, an improved Miami offensive line, especially with that system, and then bringing a Connor Williams and Teron Armstead. But, the advantage still might be on Buffalo's side. So, again, one of the best rosters. And honestly, this game was like 10.5 or maybe even 7.5 to get that 7 hook. Maybe then I think Miami, but at 5.5, it may be a little bit of a trap game, but there's not a huge spread there, and there's only really the one key number of 3. So I like Buffalo. Sounds like we're all kind of on the Bills there. So forgot to mention this off the top. If you want to see the rest of our picks for the entire NFL spread, we're only talking about 5 games. Go to the link in the description. You can see our entire picks against the spread. Also, join that league. If you beat us in a week, maybe I'll do a giveaway, or if you beat us at the end of the season, I'll certainly give you something there. So I think I'm the overall leader. Mason won last week, but obviously it's still a small sample size. Anyways, let's move on to game 3. Packers Bucs, man. And last year, both conference championship games were rematches of week 3 games, including Bucs Rams. So, can history repeat itself here? This could be the NFC championship game, maybe. But right now, line just updated. Bucs -2, over under at 41.5. And, I don't really know how to feel about this game in a lot of ways. There's talent, and preseason wise, we're saying these are 2 Super Bowl contenders. But my confidence level, where the teams are at right now, is pretty low. And that's because both have some offensive line questions. David Bakhtiari is still not playing. Josh Myers got beat a couple times on Sunday Night Football. Tampa Bay's banged up across the offensive line throughout the preseason. The wide receiver room's a question mark for both sides. I know Green Bay won against Chicago, but you got one big play from Sammy Watkins, a couple catches from Randall Cobb. You're still waiting to see who the dude is going to be. And then for the Bucs, they signed Cole Beasley, and he's not a savior. That's not going to fix the issue here. You're going to be down Mike Evans. You might be down Julio, probably down Chris Godwin. So it's looking pretty thin there. Maybe Julio can play. He was a true game time decision, but nonetheless, I'm concerned across both offenses, which is not something I anticipated saying 4 weeks ago, right? But their defenses are great, and I'm kind of excited to see this battle. I'm going to take the Bucs right now, but I say that with absolute no confidence. So, Mason, I'll start with you. Do you have a side you like here, or where do you see this game going?
I mean, it's definitely tricky. I would side with the Bucs. The 2 offenses that have been super hard and frustrating to watch at the wide receiver position, really everything. But no, I like the Bucs only because of, I like the better quarterback. That's a debate for another episode.
Oh, you're going to get JT riled up, man.
No, that's not my point. But no, I think I like the Bucs here. I think he gets it going at home, even with what he's got. But I don't know. We'll see.
All right, JT, tell me why I should take the Packers.
Yeah, I'm liking Packers to. I like Packers to win the game. I don't think I would bet it though. At two, even at +2, I don't think I would touch that. Just like you guys are saying, it's kind of the uncertainty factor. What I'm kind of looking for as far as like betting wise, I kind of like the over here at 41.5. You're getting Brady. I understand, the issues at the supporting cast, but you get a game with Brady and Rodgers, and the over under is at 41.5. That's insane to me. That value alone, I'm taking it. I'm definitely playing that one. But if I had to lean one side, I'm thinking Packers just because really just the matchup at the running back position for the Packers versus the D line for the Bucs. D line for the Bucs is not bad by any means, but Akeem Hicks injured his foot last game. That's going to be something that's going to nag him probably for a few weeks to come. A foot injury for somebody that's a 350-pound man walking around, that's not going to shore up too quick.
Ask every NBA center how lower
big men and foot injuries just are not good. Aaron Jones looked great last week. AJ Dillon obviously as well, still in the backfield. I just think I kind of lean Packers just on that matchup. But again, I don't know if I would bet it. It should be interesting. I know Brady, just a kind of takeaway for how the Bucs look right now. I watched a lot of the Bucs game last week, and Brady and like the offense struggled, but like Brady was throwing dots. Like his receivers were dropping balls left and right, and like Brady was like fitting them into like slots that were like a foot wide and hitting receivers right in the hands, and like just blatant drops. Scotty Miller was terrible on Sunday. I don't think that the receivers play quite as bad. So, like I said, for that reason, I'm just kind of staying away from it. I want to lean Packers, but I also don't think the Bucs are going to play that bad on offense. So, I like the over for sure.
Yeah. So, like JT, you touched on the over. Like last week, the over 44 in that Tampa New Orleans game, dude. Like pissed me off.
Yeah, that was a tough recommendation there. That was my lock of the week.
Was
tough. But I mean, kind of going on your point there, JT. Those wide receivers last week, especially Scotty Miller. Like I've rapidly lost all hope that he might be something in this offense from what I was thinking maybe 2 years ago. But it might be if Julio doesn't play. You're talking about
we didn't even talk about Mike Evans obviously being suspended.
Yeah.
For his little scuffle with Lattimore. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, Julio might not play. Julio's injury history, right?
So if he's out, it's Russell Gage, Scotty Miller. It makes you wish that you could have held on to Tyler Johnson, but you can only hold so many wide receivers on a 53-man roster, so they kind of had to. But man, it was like the biggest strength thinking about the Bucs in the preseason, and now it's become a liability. But also, I wanted to hit on this before we change topics. JC, I think you bring up a great point there, and like obviously the three of us are not bankrolling MGM or anything like that. But for a lot of people who are watching this, you're probably just a casual better, maybe $5 here, maybe 10 there, maybe 20 there. But that being said, that doesn't mean you get to bet every game that's on your available docket there. So, you like Green Bay, but you're already talking about if you got Green Bay +2, -110. You're already giving the house money if you win. Mm-hmm. So this is one of those games where, like, unless you're really confident or you're really feeling it, you see an edge there, just don't bet it. Don't feel like you need to. I just feel like that was something that's worth mentioning considering we talk about betting all these games, but it's not something everybody has to do. So that's totally fine. But with that, diatribe down, let's go ahead and move on to game number 4, San Francisco against the Denver Broncos. 49ers favored by 1.5, over under 45. JT, I'll start with you.
Yeah, so this game to me kind of feels like a trap game from a betting perspective. 49ers -1.5, Broncos. The Broncos though, I don't know. This is a tough game for me. I think the 49ers actually got better with Trey Lance going down, to be honest. Just on at least as far as like consistency. It actually makes it a lot easier to bet on the 49ers, I think. And kind of take them in spots where you like them versus another roster. So that kind of makes me lean 49ers. But this also feels like a spot where you have one of those classic Russell Wilson games where there's absolutely no reason they should win. And he throws like a late bomb after running around for 20 seconds and they, steal a game on the road. Or I guess they're not on the road, but like, you know what I mean? Just absolutely steal the game.
Yeah.
But then again, that being said, Nathaniel Hackett, man, he's got to figure something out, man. They just got to. The problem is like all the problems that Nathaniel Hackett's having as a coach are like communication. They're like logistical issues that like the fact that they've made it to like national television is insane.
Yeah.
Like these are training camp issues. And they're still happening, and it's like it's about to be week 3. They're probably still gonna have issues, and it's just like I don't know, it's crazy. So
yeah,
but this really feels like a trap game as far as betting goes. 49ers feel like the obvious play, but man, it really feels like a trap.
You bring up a good point, because I was ready to say like 49ers I'm surprised it's only 1.5, right? Like at least the juice 2.5, or maybe it's like -125. It's going to move out to -3 or something like that, because the 49ers offense started moving it. I mean, like prayers up for Trey Lance. Like I am so excited to see what his potential can bring, but there's no coincidence that he goes down, Jimmy G comes in, and his first full drive, they start moving it like they weren't before. I mean, there's just no coincidence there. So that's tough. Again, hopeful for Trey Lance's future. But that being said, with what we saw from that offense, and then I said this in my power rankings video, so sorry I'm repeating myself, but there is not much that can unite thousands of American strangers. We live in such a polarized time, but delay of game penalties must be it, because too many flags and bad game management brought thousands of people in Denver to say, hey, play clock hits 10, we're going to start letting them know.
Insane, bro.
So you compare where these two teams are at coming into this week, and you're telling me there's a 1.5 difference? They feel like they're planets apart. So I still like the 49ers just because it feels like it should be more. But because of that, I think you could be right. Like, maybe Russ against a NFC West team that obviously he used to play against a lot, maybe just as like a throwback Russ game, 4 tuds. I could see it. Like the narrative totally builds there, but I'm a numbers guy. I got to stick with my instincts here. I like the 49ers. I think they're just playing better football right now. And, that defense is legit. And I'm looking at a Broncos wide receiver room now missing Jerry Jeudy. And as everything that I liked about the Denver offense, I haven't really seen it outside of Javonte Williams. But even then, you get into a spot where you need to use Javonte Williams and you use Andrew Beck instead. Sorry, I could go down plenty of complaints about Nathaniel Hackett despite my excitement when he was hired. But I also really like the under in this game. It's already gone from 46 to 45, so it's already kind of trending that way. So I'd get it sooner rather than later. By the time you're seeing this, it might be even 44, maybe 43.5. But like I said, I have question marks on both offenses, primarily Denver, but with Jimmy G, he's going to find a linebacker. He's going to chuck one at a linebacker once a game. And then he might find a safety. And if Denver takes advantage of those 2 turnovers, you might be looking at, the under hitting pretty easily here. They could also jack up the score if they're pick sixes. So that's kind of a risky play there. But I kind of like the under at 45. And I'm leaning San Francisco -1.5, despite you're right, JT. It kind of does feel like I'm being put in the trap here. But Mason, tell me your thoughts. Where you stand on this one?
Yeah, so in a pick'em game, I definitely lean 49ers. I just don't trust the Broncos yet. But will they get it, back up and running week 3? Maybe, maybe not. And I do like that the 49ers now have Jimmy G back. They look much better in week 2. Shout out my Survivor League. Moving on to week 3 there. Thank you, 49ers. But yeah, I'll be short and sweet in a pick'em game. I'll take the 49ers. But it does feel like a trap game, like JT was saying.
I think it's going to come down to like, do you think Russ still has his fastball?
Right.
Sure.
Like, can he pull one out of the hat and beat a team that he has no business beating? Like, and I don't know. It's tough, man. He looks rusty. He looks really rusty. He looks a little thicker than usual, man. He's got that grown man weight on him.
He's living in Denver, man.
He also looks he looks a little gun shy too. Like, I've never really seen this from Russ. He looks kind of gun shy. I
think you started to see it a little bit less last week with Cortland Sutton. Like, you could start to see he was like,
towards the end of the game.
I can trust him. But other than that, yeah, it was kind of interesting. And I will say, further proof that this could be a trap game. And maybe if you're a Denver fan and you feel like we've insulted your team enough, there's really only one way for Denver to go, and that's up. And after how good that offense looked for San Francisco, there's really only one way they can go, and that's probably down. I don't know how down, but probably down. So because of that, I mean, maybe Broncos are onto something here, and they're at home. It's hard to play at Mile High this early in the season. I could see it. You know what? Maybe I might talk myself into it. Anyways, let's jump off of this one. Let's talk Dallas Cowboys and New York Giants. And I jokingly put in our notes docket here. I didn't anticipate seeing the Giants favored in a game this year. That was not on my bingo board. But wow, I'm really shocked to be seeing it. And I am talking to president and vice president of the Cooper Rush fan club. So with my quick note aside, I turn it over to y'all. I know y'all are feeling good right now. I'm still not sold necessarily he's anything more than just a decent backup. But let me hear y'all's thoughts on this game. Mason, let me hear where you're leaning on this one. Dallas on the road, but 2.5 points against the Giants.
Yeah, so I was definitely on the Cooper Rush train last week. Unfortunately, I bet on the Bengals, so that's that. But yeah, definitely did not have the Giants starting off the year 2-0. I don't think anybody did. But yeah, there's no way the Giants start off 3-0, right? Daniel Jones in primetime game, no thank you. I'll take the Cowboys getting points here. Playing extremely well after last week against the Bengals. Cooper Rush looked great. I won't say great. He just didn't make mistakes. So I'll ride that. I'll ride that momentum until he proves me otherwise. So I'll take the Cowboys here.
Which let me amend my statement about Cooper Rush. All you really need a backup to do is not lose the game. And Cooper Rush did not lose that game by any stretch. And if anything, he executed a beautiful opening sequence from Kellen Moore. But he has to execute it, and he did that. Got the ball to Pollard in space on a little shuffle toss. And then didn't lose the rest of the game. That's actually a pretty decent game for a backup. So, he's probably still like QB 35 in the league. But, that's not terrible, I suppose. But also something else I wanted to note here. Micah Parsons. And I was even texting y'all about this because I was like, dude, if he's a full-time edge, he's a top 5 guy. And I love the Boses as much as anybody, but I think I'd go Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, Parsons, Nick or Joey Bosa, then the other Bosa. Take your preference.
Yeah.
And the only reason Parsons is 3 is because he's a year and 2 games in. I've seen Watt do it for a handful of years. I've seen a dude see Myles Garrett at the gym. You already know that dude's an alien. He's not from planet Earth. So if I see Parsons do this for the rest of the year, he might be edge 1 in the league. And he might be the best edge since legitimately Lawrence Taylor, which I'm getting, a little.
It sounds wild to say, but I get where you're going.
Think about something like Aaron Donald's an interior guy. JJ Watt, he played on the edge, but kind of one of those tweeners. So you just got to think about it, I guess, a little bit. But that being said, I don't want to put the cart, in front of the horse before we get to week 3 of the season. But he wrecks games, and that Giants offensive line's better, but it's still not great. They're also missing, Kayvon Thibodeau, Azeez Ojulari last week, Aaron Robinson as well. So a defense is banged up. So the thing I like the most about the Giants is not at 100%. And the Cowboys have the best player in this game. So I'll take the side that has the best player in the game, JT, where do you stand on this one? Do you like the Cowboys on the road?
Yeah, Cowboys on the road for sure. I'll talk about a little bit of it later as well. But yeah, I think they cover for sure. And honestly, we'll probably push this up to Cowboys -6.5 if I can find that on a book. Basically, the highest favorite that I can get on the Cowboys. I'm just loving the value. You probably get a crazy nice payout, maybe like +3 something, +400 something at the Cowboys to win by a touchdown.
I'm gonna look that up for you because that's kind of a spicy play.
Yeah, I don't know if you can find it on a book right now, but as far as pushing it kind of as far as I can the other direction, Cowboys actually being favored, that's kind of the way I'd play it. Kind of all the reasons that you talked about, and both of you guys combined, right? So Cooper Rush, excellent game manager, not a guy that's going to really lose a game for you, at least through two career starts. But in both, it was just nothing but consistency, no risk taking. It was kind of just what you need out of a backup, like you're saying. And then it really comes down to I just think that Micah Parsons and that Cowboys defense is going to eat Daniel Jones alive. I just don't see. I don't see Daniel Jones being able to navigate the pressure that the Cowboys are going to be able to put on him. And I also don't see anybody on the Giants really posing a ton of threats to that secondary, to the secondary of the Cowboys. There's really not a ton of pressure. Sterling Shepard's looked good. Kenny Galladay has been irrelevant again this year. So it's just – I think it's a big matchup thing. And also the Cowboys are pretty quick on the defensive end as far as laterally kind of covering the field, that kind of thing. So Barkley, while obviously he can get loose, he's a beast. I just think that too much talent on that Cowboys defense kind of is going to override this game. And also kind of, it's a dumb kind of, not dumb, but kind of a lazier take, but Giants going 3-0. Come on, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like it's a bad, like, kind of a bad take to say out loud, but like
Carolina started 3-0 last year.
Well, let's put it this way. Like, one of my best friends, Phil, lifelong Giants fan, right? He texted me, literally was like, I think this is the first time we started 2-0 like since I've been a fan. Like,
yeah,
that's what that like, and he's like dead serious. So 3-0 might not be in the cards.
Dude, and like Brian Daboll was the first Giants head coach to win on opening day since, like, I don't remember exactly the name, but someone from like the mid-aughts. Like, what?
Yeah.
But to answer your question, looking at it right now, Cowboys -6.5, plus 213. Thought you might get some better value there, but it's not terrible. Plus 3.5 is 150. So again, not horrible, but you still got the 3 and they got the 6.5 this year, not getting the 7.
Yeah, I'm not going to play that, and I'll talk about what I would do instead here in a sec.
All right, well, that will do it for our games to preview here. So that takes us into the 2-minute drill. I'll set the timer. This segment is just where we give you our locks of the week, and I think we're due. We're combined 0 for 6.
Are we really 0 for 6? I knew I was 0 for 2 in the first 2 weeks, but I know
you missed week 1 with Eagles covering by a single point. So
yeah. I mean, but still, it's wild that we're 0 for 6. That's crazy.
Yeah. So just like Denver, there's only one way for us to go, and that's up. So let's get there, boys. So I'm starting the clock. I'll start with my pick of the week. I got 2 for you, honestly, and I'll count them both against my record. Ravens -3. They are better than 3 points than the Patriots. That should be wider than that. It's in New England, but whatever. And then the Chiefs -6.5. Fair amount of points. And I know it feels like the Colts can only go up from here, but Patrick Mahomes has never lost in a dome. And if he's winning, I feel like it's going to be by a touchdown. So I'll trust that offense. I'll trust the best quarterback in the game, talent-wise, my perspective. But I'll throw it to either one of y'all who wants to go next. We got a minute and a half. We got plenty of time. Got a couple timeouts too.
I'll take one real quick, just because we were just on the Cowboys. At plus 213, I don't really like the -6.5 play. My lock is going to be the Cowboys money line, actually. So instead of playing that 6.5 and hoping for a higher payout, I would just put more units and like more money on the money line. That way you're making more money that way. It's not like a unit to unit payout isn't quite as high, but just like throw more money on it. And then I liked your angles too. One thing I noticed about the spreads this week, they're a lot shorter than they were last week. We saw a lot of 10-point spreads last week. We're seeing a lot of, 1-score spreads this week, as we get to kind of learn more and more about these teams. I think after week 1, we thought we knew a lot, so the spreads got big and we knew who the good teams were. Last week proved that we don't know anything yet, and that's why they're shorter. But yeah, go ahead, Mace.
Yeah, I'll be quick. I like the Raiders pick. You didn't touch on it too much, but I'm not going to touch on it either. 3-teamer, Chiefs -6.5, Bengals -5, Raiders -2. Book it.
Well, I just pulled
3-teamer.
Wow.
A 3-teamer lock.
3-teamer lock.
Sheesh. We'll have to see the payout on that.
Raiders.
I'm about to tell you about that. So at a minute,
tell me, because I'm just now adding the Raiders.
Yeah, all good. At a minute 52, we just we got it in right before the whistle blew, I guess. So. Okay, so, if it was Chiefs -6.5, Bengals -1.5, that would be plus 272. That's your standard 2-leg. So if you're talking about moving Bengals out to -5 through 3.
Wait, that's what the odds, that's what they were, right?
I thought I saw.
Oh, dude. I mean, this is from yesterday.
Okay, Bengals -1.5. Wait, I'm looking a week ahead, dude. My bad. Okay. And then what you throw in there? Raiders -2?
Raiders -2 is my second favorite play this week.
Yeah, I'm Cowboys. I'm going to put that in the way.
Okay, hold on. I'm trying to cook this up real quick for you.
While you're looking that up, another play that I like this week is Saints -2.5 at the Panthers. I just see the Saints kind of as a better overall roster than the Panthers. I think they're due kind of for a bounce back. I think Baker struggles against that Saints defense.
Okay, I got that parlay together. 3-team spread parlay. How bold of you, sir. 5, say you're just trying to throw a nickel on it, throw a little fiver. Win 35-57. So it's pretty good. Odds at plus 611. So that's pretty solid. I like that, Mace. That's a hot one. If you hit on that, if you hit on that, I'm giving you a half point because that's bold. That's straight bold. You get 1.5 wins for that one. That's dope. Well, fellas, that's going to do it for episode 3 of the Hurry Up Offense. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Let us hear your takes down below in the comment section. Where do you stand on some of these games? Maybe do you have a bet or a spread that you like from a game we didn't talk about, or what are some of your major matchups that you're looking for in these 5 games we talked about? Love to have your thoughts. It's a conversation down below, so I respond to every comment. Let's talk about it down below. Hopefully you all enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure to hit that like button. It'd help us out a ton. And if you're new around here, want to see more football content, just hit that big red subscribe button. That's going to do it for us. Until next week, we are signing off.